All right, we're going to let head coach Ed Cooley open with a statement, but I'd just like to point some things out real quick. Micah Peavey right here for the month of February averaged 24.2 points per game, 6.5 rebounds per game, 5.3 assists per game, and 3.2 steals per game while shooting 49.6% from the field. So just want to make sure that's noted. This was his 6th straight game of 20 or more points.
I appreciate that, Diane. I really appreciate that. And it's funny, you know what I mean? And again, it's all about winning at the end of the day. But when you see, you know, I get very frustrated. I mean, Micah should have been the National Player of the Week, let alone the Big East Player of the Week. And a lot of that is, you know, your team has to win. So I understand that. But when you just look at the numbers, I don't know if there's a player in the country. What we got, 364 teams? I'm not the brightest guy, but I'm certainly not the dumbest. Far from the dumbest. So, I mean, this kid deserves way more credit. And again, given what we've gone through, I think a lot of teams around the country, and it's something to learn for the players, like opportunities knocking for them, and our players are just not taking advantage of it. Obviously, losing Thomas for the year, quite frankly, I think he and McNeely are both two of the best first-year players in the country in the Big East. I don't think that's talked about enough. Definitely not talked about enough. McNeely, great player, really good player, as is Thomas. So we'll see how that ends up. Today was about physicality. When you look at 30 plus on the, you know, they out-rebounded us almost 2-1, and they had 30 second chance points. That's the game, right? Obviously being in foul trouble with limited size. You know, when you look at it, we lost Julius sometime in November, big blow. Obviously, Jayden going down in December, missed 13 games in and out of the lineup. Then obviously the last 2 weeks, not having Caleb and Thomas has been crippling to the growth of the program. But our men play hard. Very proud of how far we've come. It's just we had a couple of setbacks with these injuries. You got to give a lot of credit. I thought Connecticut made shot after shot, right? I thought, you know, second half played pretty much even. With respect to neither team defending. Neither team was guarding anybody, right? Me and Lee Reed could have made layups in this game on both sides of the ball. Literally, you know, both teams didn't guard anybody. It was just an offensive display, and hopefully we can clean that up. But overall, I'm proud of our men, really proud of how hard we play. We're just limited right now. Let's try to see what we can do to prepare for a very aggressive, hungry Marquette team. But, you know, we knew we were going to play a hungry team coming off of a tough loss in New York. So we got to deal with that and move forward.
All right, we'll move on to questions.
You mentioned Liam McNeely, one of the best freshmen in the league or country. What was your assessment of him, just seeing him a second time, and how complete a player he is?
I don't know if we played him the first time. I don't think he played in the first game when we were in Washington. Good player, you know, can make shots, has great range, has good length. You know, he's a really good decision maker. Good player, you know, a really good player. So, I mean, you know, Connecticut has a great player, and, you know, I hope he's not here too long.
Coach, how tough is it for you guys to lose Drew early in the second half?
It was, you know, I don't think we showed any type of defensive discipline at all, right? You know, a couple of early fouls, and you're going to make a gamble, right? It's a 50-50 gamble on that. I just didn't think we would be that lack the discipline the way we did, you know. Again, you got to use verticality when you're in that situation. But maybe I should have subbed him, so that's my fault for leaving him out there.
Have you had to shift your offensive philosophy?
Shit, have I had to shift? I mean, you know, have I had to shift? It's a Titanic sink. Yes, it did. A lot, but actually we're scoring it better. We're scoring it better. We have to defend better. You know, I mean, this is back-to-back games where we've given up 80-something plus points, but we have scored 79 points. Normally you win the game, or you're right there to win the game, right? So we just got to figure out what we got to do with our physicality in order to make sure we try to get to that last 4-minute war to give our men a chance to win. We haven't done that in back-to-back games.
What has been your impression of this season? Obviously, you've got your own team to worry about, but just watching UConn from afar, what have been your impressions of the way this season is going?
To answer that honestly, I don't pay attention to that. I mean, I don't give a damn about anybody else when I'm focused on our next opponent. I care about the Big East, but I start to pay attention to them before we play them. I'm always cheering for the Big East. I want us to do well. I want us to have 5-6 teams in the tournament, but it's none of my business. That's Danny's job. You know what I mean? That's your AD's job to pay attention to that, or your job. Sir, tell me what you think of Connecticut. Give me your impression of Connecticut. Let me ask you that.
Like you, they've had injuries too.
Sure.
Obviously not as dominant as the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm. Well, the thing is, saying they're not as dominant, they're pretty damn good, bro. The thing is, like, the expectation when you win spoils people. There's always an ebb and flow with teams. At some point, every team has their chance, and it's there. At some point, every team will have their chance. Right now, Connecticut has a really good run, but again, when you win at the level of which this program has won at the last 2 years, where else can you go? So any type of setback, everybody's like, oh, wow, the roof is falling in. Something happened. What's going on? Yeah, I want y'all jobs sometimes so I can ask, well, tell me what you think of that. Come on, dog. Good question. I don't give a damn about anybody else but Georgetown.
Like, Dan Hurley had some nice things to say about you yesterday and how he doesn't really envy having to go up against you, and how to feel to go for all 40 minutes tonight and, you know, over 25 points, and just the way you played the past month or so.
Well, with Thomas going down, I just feel like I have to step up a little bit more for my team to try to win games. And the coaches are trusting me. My teammates are trusting me. I'm just trying to play as confident as I can. Yeah, like I said, trying to win games.
Any other questions for players?
Good luck, guys.